Success is never an accident. It is always the result of intention, effort, and most importantly, the willingness to force yourself to act, even when every part of you resists. The simple fact is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. There are days when you feel like you can conquer the world, and then there are days when even getting out of bed feels like a monumental task. The reality is, waiting for the perfect moment or the right dose of motivation is a trap. You can't wait around for the stars to align or for the conditions to be just right. If you do, you'll be waiting forever. You see, success requires you to take action, regardless of how you feel. It's not about feeling inspired or motivated every single day. It's about the commitment to keep going, even when the excitement fades, or when you feel tired, overwhelmed, or doubtful. This is where the power of forcing yourself to take action comes in. It's not about feeling motivated to do something. It's about doing it, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've set a goal to lose weight or get in better shape. The first week might be easy. You're motivated, you feel good about your decision, and you're excited to take on this challenge. You go to the gym, you eat healthy meals, and you feel proud of yourself. But what happens in the second or third week? You hit a wall. You're tired. You're not seeing results as quickly as you'd like, and that initial motivation starts to wear off. It's at this point when most people give up. They let their feelings dictate their actions, and because they're not feeling the same enthusiasm as they did in the beginning, they stop. The power of forcing yourself is in these small wins that accumulate over time. It's waking up early to work on your dreams when you'd rather sleep in. It's pushing through the difficult moments when you want to quit. Every time you force yourself to keep going, you strengthen your discipline, and discipline is the bridge that connects your current self to your future success. Without discipline, without that ability to push through the resistance, you're not going to get very far. The truth is, success doesn't care about how you feel, it cares about your actions. The most successful people don't wait for inspiration. They create their own inspiration by forcing themselves to act. And the more you practice forcing yourself, the more you'll realize that success isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's available to anyone willing to show up, do the work, and force themselves to move forward, no matter what. Motivation is a powerful force, but it's also fleeting. It can lift you up and drive you forward, but it often fades when you need it the most. If you rely solely on motivation to achieve your goals, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Motivation is like a spark. It can light the fire, but without consistent action, the fire quickly dies down. Discipline, on the other hand, is the constant fuel that keeps the fire going, no matter what obstacles or challenges arise along the way. It's the unshakable commitment to keep moving forward, even when motivation isn't there to support you. Discipline is the key to achieving any long-term goal. It's what separates those who succeed from those who only dream of success. Without discipline, you can't make consistent progress. You can't stay focused. And you can't build the momentum necessary to reach your full potential. Discipline is the act of doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the willingness to push through the resistance, to make the tough decisions, and to take action, even when every part of you wants to give up. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you started a project or a goal full of energy, only to see that energy fade as time goes on? Motivation was there in the beginning, but over time, it faded, and you were left with the task of pushing through without that initial spark. Here's where discipline comes in. Discipline doesn't depend on how you feel. It's not about waiting for the perfect conditions or the right mindset. It's about doing what needs to be done no matter what. When you have discipline, you don't wait for motivation to show up. You don't rely on it to get you started or to keep you going. Instead, you create your own momentum. You wake up every day with a sense of purpose, ready to put in the work. You don't let your emotions dictate your actions. You understand that discipline is what moves you closer to your goals, not fleeting bursts of motivation. It's a mindset, a way of living, and a habit that you cultivate over time. Discipline isn't just about doing the big things. It's also about the small, everyday actions that add up to success. It's about sticking to your plan even when things get tough or the results aren't immediate. It's about consistently putting in the work even when no one is watching or when no one is there to cheer you on. It's the ability to keep going when things aren't going your way. In fact, discipline is most important when things are difficult, because that's when your commitment to your goal is truly tested. It's easy to stay motivated when everything is going well, but it's during the tough times, when the road is hard and the results aren't visible, that discipline is what will keep you going. Let's say you're working on a business or a personal project. You've set a goal, but the journey isn't easy. The results aren't immediate, and it's easy to feel discouraged. You might feel tempted to take shortcuts, to procrastinate, or to quit altogether. This is where discipline comes in. Instead of giving in to those temptations, you stay committed to your plan. You break down your big goals into smaller, more manageable tasks, and you work on them each day. You show up, even when you don't feel like it. That's discipline. And over time, those small actions add up. When you look back, you'll realize that your discipline has carried you further than motivation ever could. Discipline also helps you build self-respect. The more you make the choice to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, the more you start to trust yourself. You develop the belief that you can rely on yourself to follow through no matter the circumstances. This self-trust is crucial for achieving long-term success. Without discipline, you'll constantly second-guess yourself, and you won't be able to build the kind of momentum that leads to real progress. The beauty of discipline is that it's something you can cultivate. It's not something you're born with. It's not a trait that only a select few possess. Discipline is a habit, and like any habit, it can be developed with time and effort. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. The more you push yourself to do the hard things, even when you don't feel like it, the more natural it becomes to keep going. And over time, it becomes ingrained in who you are. It becomes your default mode of operation. The key to mastering discipline is consistency. You need to show up every day, no matter how you feel, and do the work. It's about making discipline a part of your daily routine until it becomes second nature. Once it becomes part of your daily life, it won't feel like a chore anymore. It'll be a part of who you are, and you'll find that your success comes not from motivation, but from the unwavering discipline that keeps you moving forward step by step. When it comes to achieving any goal, the first step is always the most critical. Many people get stuck in the planning phase, trying to figure out everything before they begin. But the truth is, you don't need to have every detail figured out before taking action. What matters most is committing to your goal and taking that first step, no matter how small it may seem. Once you take that first step, the momentum will begin to build, and the path will become clearer as you continue. The first step in any goal is setting a clear and specific target. You need to know exactly what you want to achieve. This is where most people fail. They don't set clear goals. They say things like, I want to lose weight, or I want to be successful, but these goals are too vague. A clear goal is specific, measurable, and actionable. For instance, instead of just saying I want to lose weight, you could say, I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 3 months by working out 3 times a week and eating a balanced diet. This gives you a clear target to work towards and helps you focus your efforts. Once you've set your goal, you need to make a commitment. A goal without commitment is just a wish. When you commit to something, you're telling yourself and others that you're serious. This commitment is what fuels your actions and drives you to take consistent steps toward your goal. It's not enough to just say, I want this. You need to back it up with your actions. This means doing the work even when it's hard or inconvenient. After committing to your goal, the next step is to create a plan. A goal without a plan is a dream. You need to break your goal down into smaller, manageable tasks. This will make the process less overwhelming and more achievable. For example, if your goal is to lose weight, your plan might include working out a specific number of times per week, meal prepping, and tracking your food intake. A clear plan helps you stay on track and gives you a roadmap to follow. Without a plan, you're more likely to get distracted or give up when obstacles arise. It's important to note that your plan doesn't have to be perfect right away. Don't get caught up in overthinking or making sure every detail is in place before you start. The key is to take action. The act of starting is what creates momentum. Once you take that first step, you'll learn along the way and adjust your plan as needed. You'll gather valuable experience and insights that will help you fine-tune your approach. Consistency is another crucial aspect of this process. Taking the first step is important, but it's not enough to stop there. Success comes from the continued effort you put in over time. You need to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Consistency is what will help you make steady progress toward your goal. It's the small, everyday actions that lead to big results. Whether it's showing up at the gym, writing a few pages of your book, or sending out job applications, these consistent actions add up over time and compound into success. You also need to hold yourself accountable. It's easy to make excuses or let things slide when there's no one else holding you responsible. This is where self-discipline comes in. You need to hold yourself accountable for completing the tasks you've committed to. This doesn't mean being overly hard on yourself, but it does mean staying true to your word and following through with the actions you've promised yourself you would take. Accountability keeps you focused and prevents you from making excuses when things get tough. As you continue on your journey, it's important to track your progress. This helps you stay motivated and allows you to celebrate the small victories along the way. Tracking your progress also helps you identify areas where you may need to adjust your plan or put in more effort. It's easy to get discouraged if you don't see immediate results, but when you track your progress, you can see how far you've come and how close you are to achieving your goal. Remember, progress is not always linear. There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments when you feel like giving up. But the key is to keep going, even when things get tough. Your first step may feel small, but it's the most important one. Once you take it, you'll find that the rest of the steps become easier. The more you commit to your goals and consistently take action, the more momentum you'll build, and the closer you'll get to achieving what you set out to do. Success isn't about waiting for the right time or the perfect conditions. It's about making the decision to start and then showing up every day to do the work. The first step is all it takes to begin your journey toward success. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that is handed to you on a silver platter. It's the result of consistent effort, focus, and most importantly, endurance. The road to success is often long and it's filled with obstacles that will test your determination. But it's those who can endure, who can keep going even when the going gets tough, that ultimately achieve their goals. Consistency and endurance are the true differentiators between those who succeed and those who give up along the way. Endurance is the ability to keep moving forward despite the challenges and difficulties you might encounter. It's what keeps you going when you feel like quitting. It's about pushing through the discomfort, the frustration, and the uncertainty that inevitably come with any journey toward success. If you want to achieve anything meaningful, you need to develop the mental toughness to endure, because success is never a smooth path. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments where it seems like everything is going wrong. But your ability to endure, to keep pushing forward when things aren't going as planned, will determine whether or not you make it to the finish line. The process of achieving any goal requires a deep sense of commitment. It's not about achieving overnight success or getting instant results. It's about staying committed to your purpose, even when the results seem far off. Commitment is what keeps you in the game. It's the force that propels you forward when motivation is no longer there to give you that extra push. When you stay committed, when you choose to endure, that's when you build the mental resilience needed to succeed. And while it's easy to stay committed when things are going well, the real test comes when things are difficult, when the road is tough. That's when endurance counts the most. Another important element of endurance is patience. Patience is the ability to keep working toward your goal even when you don't see immediate results. This is where most people falter. They expect instant gratification, and when they don't see results quickly, they give up. But true success requires the ability to trust the process, even when the results are slow to come. The truth is, the journey toward your goals will take time. There will be days when you don't see any progress, when it feels like you're stuck. But patience is the key to getting through those moments. You have to trust that the work you're putting in will eventually pay off. It may take longer than you expected, but it will pay off if you stick with it. Endurance also involves a certain level of self-awareness. It's about recognizing when you're being tested and pushing through those moments of doubt. You need to be aware of your thoughts and emotions, because doubt and fear will try to creep in. You'll question whether it's worth it, whether you're on the right path, or whether you should quit. But true endurance means acknowledging those doubts and moving past them. It's about understanding that these moments of uncertainty are normal, and they don't mean you should stop. Endurance is about not letting those moments define you, but instead continuing to move forward in spite of them. Consistency plays a huge role in endurance. To be consistent, you have to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about making progress every single day, even if it's just a small step forward. The key to building endurance is the habit of consistency. When you show up every day, when you keep doing the work, no matter how small the task, you build momentum. Momentum is what makes it easier to keep going. It's like riding a bicycle. You need a little effort to get started, but once you get going, the momentum makes it easier to keep moving forward. Consistency creates that momentum, and as you build it, you'll find that it becomes easier to endure, to push through those tough moments. One of the biggest challenges in building endurance is dealing with setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable. You will encounter obstacles that slow you down or make you question your ability to succeed. But how you respond to setbacks is what matters most. Some people let setbacks defeat them, and they give up. But those who succeed see setbacks as opportunities for growth. They use setbacks as a chance to learn, to adjust their approach, and to keep moving forward with even more determination. Endurance is about developing the mindset to persevere no matter how many times you're knocked down. It's about getting up each time stronger than before and continuing the journey. Finally, endurance is about recognizing that success isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about the process of growth and self-discovery that happens along the way. The road may be long and there may be bumps along the way, but every step you take brings you closer to who you're meant to become. The journey is where the real growth happens. Endurance is about enjoying the process, even when it's tough, because it's the process that will shape you into the person who can handle the success when it arrives. When you learn to embrace the journey, to endure through the struggles and challenges, you will find that the reward is much greater than you ever imagined. To achieve any goal, it's not enough to rely solely on motivation or wait for the perfect conditions. Success comes from the discipline to take consistent action, the endurance to keep going when times get tough, and the commitment to show up every day even when you don't feel like it. You have to force yourself to take the first step, set clear goals, and make a plan. Through consistency, discipline, and mental toughness, you build the momentum that carries you forward. Remember, success isn't a quick fix or a sudden burst of inspiration. It's the result of small, deliberate actions repeated over time. So, commit to your goals, embrace the challenges, and keep moving forward with unwavering determination. The path may be difficult, but with the right mindset and persistence, you will reach your destination and achieve the success you desire.